Trump has just gone a little bit crazy. He has put a 247.5% tariff on Chinese electric cars. But I don't think Donald Trump was smart enough to work out that actually Chinese companies have figured out a way around Trump's tariffs. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. I want to say a big thank you to our YouTube members. Guys, thanks for your support. If you'd like to become a YouTube member, you get access to some videos not on the main channel, including an exclusive interview with the executive in charge of Xpeng's platforms, their technology, their EV technology. He's revealed some details to me over the weekend, which is quite fascinating. So getting back to this story, what's going on here? Well, if you want to buy a Chinese EV in the United States, technically it would appear that would be impossible. Trump and China are locked into a trade war, which is honestly a stupid idea. And this situation is kind of getting out of hand. After a rapid escalation in the trade war between the US and China over the past few days, anyone trying to import a Chinese electric car to the US faces a tariff rate of 247.5%. So don't expect to see, any cars from Tesla rivals BYD or Xiaomi on the roads anytime soon, says Business Insider. And a bunch of news people saying this. Now, this isn't actually accurate. I'm going to tell you in a minute that why China's laughing at Donald Trump. A spokesperson for the US International Trade Commission confirmed the total tax rate to Business Insider, I believe a few days ago. And that includes the 145% tariff on Chinese goods announced by Donald Trump over the past week and the 100% levy on Chinese electric cars implemented by Joe Biden. It's just like levies on top of levies on top of levies. That was last year, Joe Biden's 100%. Plus, there is also a 2.5% duty rate on all EVs bought into the US as well. So tariff upon tariff upon tariff. Honestly, countries that do this kind of protectionism, they're usually impoverished. They usually want to protect their own market. They have extreme protectionists like Cuba. Donald Trump is kind of enacting a version of Cuba in the United States. It's gone to that point where it's just incredibly outlandish. The enormous number, though, is a sign of how the trade war between the world's two largest economies has escalated to ludicrous levels. China retaliated against the US, the latest US tariffs on Friday, with its own 125% tariff on US goods. China tariffs are already hitting Tesla, which has stopped taking orders for the Model S and the Model X because they're imported from the United States. To be honest, I don't think Tesla really cares too much about the Model X and the Model S, but anyhow. This shows how far successive US administrations have gone to prevent affordable, high-tech Chinese electric vehicles from getting to the United States. The new tariff rate implies that anyone in the US who attempts to buy and import BYD's cheapest EV, the $7,800 BYD Seagull, will have to pay an additional $19,300 US dollars, meaning the car is going to cost nearly $30,000 US dollars, right? If you include the shipping costs, it's going to be probably about $31,000 US dollars. Even if you can afford that, thanks to a host of additional regulations and restrictions, it's unlikely you'd be able to legally drive one on US roads, even if you could afford the shipping fees as well. However, I'll explain why this isn't really true in just a second. Having once dismissed Chinese car makers as being horrendous, the US automotive industry has now decided BYD and Xpeng and Xiaomi, etc., they are clearly an existential threat to the US automotive industry, and they're taking market share from them. Elon Musk warned last year that China's EV companies would demolish their Western rivals without trade barriers. At the same time, Ford CEO Jim Farley was so impressed by Xiaomi's SU7 electric sedan that he flew one from Shanghai to Chicago. The 250% trade barrier in theory, protects Tesla, Ford, and other automakers from having to compete with BYD and Xiaomi in the US. But there is a bit more to that story. Now, not content with crushing Western automakers at home, China's EV makers are now expanding rapidly in developing markets like Brazil and Southeast Asia and Mexico. Why are Chinese automakers flooding Mexico with cars which they have admitted are some of them are being sold below cost? in Mexico. Chinese automakers plan to dominate the Mexican car market. They already are, getting to the point where that appears to be inevitable. Why are they doing this? Well, Chinese automakers are building factories and entering markets in Europe and in other places around the world. And apparently, Europe is even considering removing tariffs on Chinese EVs. Americans who in surveys have consistently cited a lack of affordability and choice as major barriers to buying an electric car, they are taking notice. And guys, Americans are not happy. YouTuber iShowSpeed, he showed off some of BYD's most eye-catching cars. He's got 38.6 million subscribers. And he showed these off in a visit in China. In a live stream with around 8 million views on YouTube, he drove BYD's Yangwang U8 SUV. This is a crazy car, can float on water. Anyway, he attempted to buy the U9, take it back to the United States, but he was told that wasn't possible. For many US drivers who want to see a Seagull or a Su7 Xiaomi or an Xpeng P7, well, they can cross the border to Mexico, where Chinese EVs are rapidly becoming a common sight on local roads. They then can buy a used EV that's done 1 mile, technically making it a used car, and simply drive it across the border into the United States. This is completely legal. Can you sort of see here why China is flooding the Mexican car market? This is simply a simple backdoor into the United States. Now, does this mean that we're going to see millions of Chinese cars on American roads? Probably not soon, but eventually, very likely. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Bye-bye. Electric car sales in China have broken new records once again. Month after month after month. We can repeat this over and over and over. Now, electric car sales have risen at a far faster pace than plug-in hybrid or EREV sales. So a lot of people think that actually hybrids are the future, or at least the immediate future. But the statistics actually don't back up those claims because EV sales grew by just under 40%, which was a much higher pace than either hybrids or any other type of drivetrain in China. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. CNEV Post has just revealed the numbers here. NEV sales grew by 30%